Has this been you? You're an artist, young, precocious, full of imagination. You like to fantasize ideas in your heads and draw them out. You finish your masterpiece that you spend hours and days on, and you post it on social media, excited, hopeful. Maybe someone will see it. Maybe someone will love it as much as you do. Maybe you'll find someone who shares your passion. Oh, let's see how many people see my work. 3 likes, 0 followers. Okay, that's fine, you think. I'm just starting out. Rome wasn't born in a day.
10 years later.
I just finished this piece. Should I post it? It's not like anyone will see it. Ugh, whatever. Fine. A notification. Oh, the bell of dread. Wait, what? What is this? 60k on a video. Hello, what? Okay, you're starting to get nervous. Maybe this is just a fluke. You know, there's no way my second post would do a. Oh, 80k. Oh, okay. Next post. Oh, 100k. Okay. Yay! Finally, I've been dreaming of this. Finally, there are people seeing my art. I can finally celebrate. Maybe I'll take a break too. Huh? What? Wait, me? Oh, you fool. Can't take a break. If you don't continue posting, you lose your momentum. And whatever likes and follows you've gotten will be gone. You'll be back in a rut, having no one to look at your work ever again. And do you want to be back in that rut? Huh? Hi, my name is Baba, and this is my journey from gaining around 26k followers on Instagram and TikTok in less than a year, and how I ultimately couldn't handle it and walked away. But first, let me be very, very clear. I don't hate my followers. I don't hate people for wanting followers. This is not a video discouraging or shaming anyone for wanting to go viral and have a large social media following. It's just that I've seen a lot of artists giving out tips on how to grow your art social media, and as somebody who quote unquote made it, I would like to share my side of the story of what happened after you reaches your goal. The expectation, the turbulence, the fear of falling off and never be successful again. And tips on how to sustain your social media following. If you're short on time, you can always skip to the last part, but I believe you will have a deeper understanding of the tips I'll be giving out if you watch the entire video. I promise I'll make it entertaining. I promise. I care. Please watch. So as you can see, I've always wanted to draw. I love to watch anime. I like to draw my LCs. I love writing stories about them, ship characters together, all that good stuff. I've been posting art on and off for a while, I think since 2012, 2013, but I didn't take it seriously up until around 2019. And at first, it was just like that intro. There wasn't much traction, in part, I would say, because of my skill. It wasn't very good, and I was also deeply introverted, even for a chronically online person. I didn't comment much, neither do I reach out to my fellow artists. I was very much a lurker. I like to share and like, but that's it. I didn't make a huge effort in creating friendships or networks or anything of the kind. And I also, innocently and arrogantly believed that my work would speak for itself. I become good enough that eventually people can't stop looking at my work. Clearly, that wasn't the case. But things changed around late 2022 when I started to make reels and record my drawing process. Initially, it was like usual, there wasn't a lot of views, but then at some point, there was a lot of them. And I mean all at once, one after another. And that really threw me into a loop, and it was the beginning of an addiction. When I first started, I said to myself that if I gain 10k followers, I'll be done. That's enough for me. I don't need to post anymore. I don't want anymore. Maybe I even stop drawing and focus on other projects. Well, I got over 10k in 2 months of posting reels. Now what? Okay, so now how about moving the goalpost to 15k? Okay, I did that. How about 20k? Okay, got there. Did that. Now what? How about 20? I think you got the point. The problem of chasing numbers online feels even more intense as an artist with an anime art style. Unlike other art forms, there aren't many physical space where us anime artists can share our work without being dismissed or labeled as a weak or something similar. Even though anime is becoming increasingly popular by the day, there's still a disconnect between what, most people consider quote unquote real art and what we as anime artists create and appreciate as art. As such, the internet became the only place where I could share my work and find people who speak the same language as me. So the likes and followers are more than just numbers, they're social currency. There are ways of telling me that my art is recognized, approved, and accepted. All that aside. And so it is devastating when you don't get those numbers and metrics, and it's even more, there's also an added difficulty when people in your real life don't consider what you are drawing as serious art. When you deprive a person of something they deeply crave, whether it's food, attention, or acceptance, they do whatever it takes to hold on to it once they finally get it. The fear of going back to that black pit of emptiness where no one is watching or engaging with your art is terrifying. But now that I made it, now what? Am I supposed to keep running on this hamster wheel, constantly grinding, churning out content, and chasing engagement in fear that I'll never recover if I stop? What happens if people stop liking my work? What happens if I stop meeting their expectation? Besides, I have this bad tendency of being a perfectionist, so maybe by forcing myself to post more often, I can get used to the idea that my art doesn't have to be perfect, and I get to do even more art. It's a win-win, right? I get to overcome my perfectionism on top of posting consistently. Hell, it's embarrassing for an account that has 20k followers that only have few engagement, so I must keep going, or else nothing will matter anymore. I don't matter anymore. Growing a social media account is work. Because of that, artists can easily fall into the trap of spending too much time advertising themselves than developing their skill and draw what they like. And because I've been so preoccupied with those thoughts, not only my reach and followers were stagnating, my drawing skill as well. I kept drawing the same old portrait style, same black anime boy wearing high school uniform, the same pose, same composition, same coloring style. And while there isn't anything wrong if when artists stay in their comfort zone, it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to venture out and try new poses, new compositions, and learn how to draw background for once. Hell, I also wanted to try and draw in a black and white style like those manga I grew up with. What artists don't tell you is that it takes a lot of time and effort to learn new things. Behind every beautiful masterpieces, there are hours and hours of studies, thousands of badly drawn arts, and millions of sketches that never come to fruition. Therefore, if I were to go outside of my comfort zone and draw things I'm unfamiliar with, I'm likely not gonna have a lot of good pieces I can post to people. And seriously, what's the point of art if you can't show it to people and get praised for it? We can all agree that this is not a good mindset to think of yourself and your creations. I was feeling it very badly. Initially, I thought going viral would be the best thing to ever happen to me. Instead, it became the reason I no longer enjoy doing art. And at some point, I began to question myself. Should I take a break and rethink about what I really want to do? Or should I continue to grind, literally following trends and drawing the same thing all over until I no longer enjoy or know what I'm doing? And I came to an ultimatum. If I don't have anything good or worthy to provide, if I can even like what I'm drawing, I don't see the point of creating. Hence why on May 2024, I decided to take a break from the socials and seriously contemplate about the future of my art. During my hiatus, I just kind of live. I touch grass, I went on a vacation with my parents, read, write, eat, study. I drew from time to time, but I didn't post it for anyone to see. And little by little, I found myself writing stories for my OCs, my original characters. They no longer just exist in fragments of my imaginations and occasionally come out whenever someone makes a meme of this ship dynamics, and I was like, oh, that's literally my OC. I was actually using my brain to write coherent sentences and storyline this time around, instead of just watching edits and imagining my OCs in it. I've also been learning how to draw in black and white. It was a miserable but equally educational journey, doing gesture studies to improve my sketching skill and learning how to draw panels and lettering for comics. I realized that I honestly could do so much when I'm not preoccupied with social media. And here's the hard truth. Even if you've done everything right, using the perfect hashtag, follow emerging trends, using the latest trending sounds, you can still fail. I know, because I've been through it. Takes one to know one. And I'll be honest, I'd rather look at my ugly oogie art that I drew of my OC 10 years ago than the ones that I did for clown. It's so embarrassing, and it's not even because they're bad, but that whenever I look at them, I feel ashamed of myself. It reminds me of the time when I was so desperate for someone to see my work that I'm willing to draw something that I'm not even entirely or emotionally invested in. These work do not spark me joy. I need to get rid of them. Wanting followers and attention should not be something that you should be ashamed of. You know, people will say, you shouldn't draw for attention. You are an attention seeker. You should only do it for yourself. Are so annoying. They are not taking into account that it is completely natural for human to want attentions because we are social creatures. No matter if you're an introvert, extrovert, an ambivert, it is normal to want your work to be seen and recognized. You know, people get motivated to do art because they get feedback and get acknowledged by their peers. Art flourishes when there's a community around it. The main goal of this section is not to shame you for wanting attention, but rather to make you question why you are doing art in the first place and how can you still sustain that with the goal of wanting followers in mind. If your goal to do art is so that you can solely gain followers and likes, eventually it will burn you out because that motivation is bad fuel. You're polluting your motivation to draw. And if you keep wanting, to draw what you don't like and don't pay attention to your intrinsic desires, once the followers don't come anymore or a piece of you flop, you would not enjoy art anymore. Therefore, it is important to have a personal long-term goals that is outside of the metrics that keep you going, rather than letting your work be entirely influenced by the ebbs and flows of temporary trend. By the time I upload this video, I should be comfortable enough emotionally to share my work again. So thank you to those who stuck around. Thank you to those who still remember who I am, even though I was so introverted and anxious, I couldn't even read my comment section. But thank you. I cannot thank you enough.